Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are all well. In this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about just rejection as a whole. Probably tie that into confidence a little bit and how that all relates. But the reason I'm actually making this video is I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'm currently trying to help him get a role, like a sales role. And we're talking about, the job market and getting rejected constantly, by these AI applicant tracking systems and these job postings. And that's a whole nother conversation. I could actually make a whole nother video around that topic if you guys wanted to. But I wanted to talk about rejection as a whole and why it's actually a good thing and why you shouldn't fear it. And I want to give you a few scenarios on why I believe this to be true. So the first one that I wanted to kind of talk about was just overall, like in dating and relationships. So, there's probably a vast majority of people that, might watch this video, but speaking from a man's perspective, it's kind of like, the old saying of like, oh, asking the girl out, whatever. Well, there's two scenarios, right? If you see a woman and you want to talk to her or potentially take her on a date, you could either A, go up to her and talk to her and potentially ask her out, right? So like, let's say you want to ask her out. You go up to her and talk to her. She's either A, going to say no, or B, say yes, right? And then there's the other scenario, which 99% of men don't do because they're too scared to do it, which is not talk to her. And you have a 100% chance of not going on a date with her if you don't talk to her, right? Let that sink in. So like, if you risk being rejected and they say no, you're just back in the same scenario that you were in, right? Like if they say no, like you're just back to square one. And I argue you're actually not back to square one because they at least know you are now, which is a good thing because no girl's going to go on a date with someone they don't know. So just keep that in mind. Like rejection isn't always bad. No doesn't always necessarily mean no. It just means no, not right now, right? That's another thing with sales and business, another scenario, right? There's this big saying in sales, which if anyone has worked in it, they've probably heard of it. But it's basically every no gets you closer to a yes. When you're making phone calls or making cold calls to prospects, every time a prospect tells you no, you're essentially getting closer to a yes. And the funny thing about that saying is it's not even cliche. Like it's quite literally true. Every time someone tells you no, it's closer to the next time a person's going to tell you yes. So whenever you're, let's say you had a business idea and you wanted to start a business and you're trying to get customers, right? The first customer, you set a meeting with them. They don't buy. The second customer, they don't buy. Third customer, they don't buy. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, they don't buy. But guess what? That ninth customer, they might buy. Or that ninth person you're meeting with, they might buy, right? So just keep that in mind. Like, don't fear getting people telling you no. It's not actually a bad thing. Like you have to reframe that. Like it's kind of like similar situations. Like let's say someone makes fun of you, or like let's say someone insults you. You actually have the choice to how you want to react to that. If someone makes fun of you, you can either B, lash out back on them and start a conflict, or like the other option is to just not care. And that actually gives you more power, right? So when you're like trying to succeed, whether it's in dating, in business, in life, whatever it is, don't be afraid of getting told no, and don't be afraid of things not going your way right away, because it's just, the more times that things don't go your way, the closer to the time it's going to be when things finally do go your way, right? It's kind of like the gym. Every time you go to the gym, you're tearing your muscles down, right? Your muscles are getting torn down. You're benching, you're doing some curls, push-ups, squats, whatever that's going to be. And every time you go to the gym, right, your muscles are facing resistance. They're facing rejection, right? But without struggle, there's no progress. No pain, no gain, right? That's a gym saying, but it goes with anything in life. No pain, no gain, right? And a lot of people watching this video probably clicked on it because of the thumbnail. You're watching gameplay right now. You're watching a video game. I could relate this to video games as well. There's many video games out there, whether it's COD, Doom, any shooter, any campaign game, like literally any game you play, right? You're leveling up your character and you're facing rejection throughout the game. Enemies that are, tough to beat might be tougher than you, or they're just very tough to beat. And every time you get through those hard things, or that hard player, or the player that's a little bit better, right? You get better because of that. So don't run away from rejection and pain, run towards it, right? Don't pray that you have an easy life and things go your way. Pray that you have the difficulty to endure a tough life, right? And face life head on. So this one's a little shorter, but wanted to overall kind of give you my perspective on rejection as a whole and why it's actually not a bad thing. Drop a comment below of, the last time you faced a pretty hard rejection, whether that was asking out someone didn't go your way, or maybe a business idea that you were pitching to someone didn't work out, or maybe you just got denied something that you wanted, right? So drop a comment below. I'd love to hear more, and I'm open to some other ideas on how people reframe it. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys, and stay tuned.